a heartbreaking request for an egg sandwich, tempted by a member of the Temptations, and a gay icon. She may be a legend, but Patti LaBelle has experienced her share of tragedy. Patti LaBelle was born Patricia Louise Holt on May 24, 1944 in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, to Henry Holt, a railroad worker and nightclub singer, and Bertha Holt. Despite living in relative economic comfort, LaBelle's life and childhood were far from comfortable. At the age of 12, according to her autobiography, Don't Block the Blessings, her parents separated after her mother suffered years of abuse. Despite this, LaBelle kept in close contact with her father until his passing. In a documentary about the singer, LaBelle, who was referred to as Patsy growing up, was described as a timid child, and even she didn't expect any kind of performance career.
I thought that I was going to be a housewife, and I was very shy and very introverted.
Following her parents' divorce, LaBelle would have to overcome another emotional scar after she was assaulted by a family friend, an event she would not speak of for a long time. LaBelle said that her church became both a safe place and somewhere to mature musically. According to Black Past, in high school, LaBelle, her older sister, and 3 friends formed a singing group, though they broke up after one show because of fighting between the sisters. Throughout high school, LaBelle would continue to sing in a group named the Ordettes. In her final semester of high school, Patti LaBelle dropped out to tour with her group, now managed by Bernann Montague. Over the next few years, LaBelle would tour and build up a small following. However, the young frontwoman's life could have taken a drastic turn thanks to an infatuation with another rising star singer. In the early 1960s, LaBelle met Otis Williams, a member of one of the most popular groups in the country, the Temptations, when the Motown group came to her Philadelphia hometown for a show. According to HuffPost, the two singers met after the show and the intense courtship began soon after. Looking back on the relationship, LaBelle wondered whether she was attracted to Williams himself or if she was just starstruck by his spot in the Temptations. Williams soon asked for her hand in marriage, but it was at this point that LaBelle ended the relationship. According to her autobiography, Williams wanted LaBelle to move away from Philadelphia to his home in California and slow down her music career so they could focus on their marriage. LaBelle turned down Williams' proposal, saying she could not give up her music, something he understood. The pair remained close friends throughout the years as their 2 careers continued to rise. Jackie Wilson was one of the greatest performers of the 1950s and 60s. Wilson holds a legacy as one of music history's all-time greatest entertainers. However, like many musicians, there was allegedly a dark side to Wilson. In her autobiography, Patti LaBelle recalled a disturbing incident in the early 1960s when she was still an up-and-comer in the music world, and Wilson was a solidified star. While alone backstage at a theater in Brooklyn, LaBelle said a man came up from behind and started to kiss her neck. The man, it turned out, was Jackie Wilson, and according to the Michigan Chronicle, LaBelle remembered smelling liquor on his breath. Wilson and an associate then allegedly grabbed LaBelle and attempted to carry her into a locked room. LaBelle recalled not having a weapon and wasn't strong enough to fight the 2 men off, but she screamed loud enough to make them let her go, allowing her to escape. Wilson, according to Jerry Royce, was known for having a short temper and had a number of extramarital affairs. Gladys Knight, friend to both LaBelle and the late Wilson, did not deny LaBelle's accusations, though she said Wilson was very supportive and helped her career along when she was a young musician. Once they dropped out of high school, the Ordettes toured the East Coast. According to John Clement's book, Girl Groups, Fabulous Females Who Rock the World, LaBelle and her bandmates Sarah Dash, Nona Hendrix, and Cindy Birdsong performed every day at different venues. Finally, as told by Pop Dose, their supposed big break came in 1962 and involved a cover of the song I Sold My Heart to a Junk Man. Harold B. Robinson, a car dealer attempting to launch his own label, had approached another girl group, the Starlets, and convinced them to record the song. Despite the group telling Robinson they were a part of another label, he convinced them it would not be an issue. When Robinson's Newton Records finally launched later that year, he released a track credited to the Bluebells. Then he had the Ordettes, unaware of the previous recording with the Starlets, record the song during an audition. As the song began to climb in popularity, the Starlets' manager sued Robinson, with the newly named Patti LaBelle and the Bluebells stuck in the middle. According to VH1, the Bluebells recorded a number of top 40 hits over the next few years before jumping ship to Atlantic Records in 1965. During their 3 years with Atlantic, however, the group struggled to reach similar success, and by the end, Cindy Birdsong had left the group to replace Florence Ballard in the Supremes. In 1970, the Bluebells began to be managed by British television producer Vicky Wickham. Wickham renamed them LaBelle and pushed the group toward the increasingly popular glitter rock aesthetic. This change helped push the women to the greatest critical and commercial success of their careers, eventually nabbing their first Billboard #1 single with the song Lady Marmalade. According to her autobiography, Don't Block the Blessings, LaBelle was the first black pop act to play the Metropolitan Opera House, and according to the Press Herald, the first black vocal group to grace the cover of Rolling Stone. Despite being critically acclaimed, by the middle of the 1970s, the group was nearing the end. Patti LaBelle wanted to return to soul ballads, Nona Hendrix favored glam rock, and Sarah Dash preferred disco. During a December show in 1976, Hendrix left the stage before their final number and suffered a mental breakdown. Hendrix was taken to the hospital, and the trio agreed to end the group. After LaBelle broke up, it was easy to assume that Patti LaBelle would be the breakout star. Unfortunately, it would be a few years and albums before Patti LaBelle would reach that same success, even though, according to biography, Patti's first solo album, Patti LaBelle, was a critical success. While Patti LaBelle set the foundation for a successful career, Patti's subsequent efforts didn't pan out. Her next 3 albums failed to achieve the same success as her later years with LaBelle or her first solo album. In 1981, she left Epic Records and signed with Philadelphia International Records. After another album, she took her interest to Broadway. However, Patti LaBelle never completely left music. In 1983, while still performing on Broadway, she recorded her own version of the ballad The Best Is Yet to Come. The same year, she recorded the song If Only God Knew, as well as the album I'm in Love Again, which broke her streak of unsuccessful album releases. I'm in Love Again peaked at number 46 on Billboard and achieved gold status, selling over 500,000 copies. In Clay Kane's work, Live Through This, Surviving the Intersections of Sexuality, God, and Race, she refers to Patti LaBelle as, quote, arguably the greatest gay icon of all time and a prime example of the intersection of the LGBT community and black female artists. LaBelle discussed her closeness with the LGBT community in an interview with the New York Post, saying, I'm very vocal about speaking my mind when I see injustice. Sometimes gay men and ladies are afraid to come out and say what they really feel, so I think I'm a voice for some of my children. One close friend who was scared to come out was the late singer Luther Vandross, who discussed the issue with LaBelle.
But he wasn't going to come out and say this to the world. And he had a lot of lady fans, and he told me that he just didn't want to upset the world.
During the height of the HIV/AIDS epidemic, LaBelle was an outspoken advocate for awareness and testing. The National Library of Medicine reports that in 1987, LaBelle became the spokeswoman for the National Minority AIDS Council and promoted the Live Long Sugar campaign that sought to encourage people of color to get treatment. Prior to their marriage, Armstead Edwards was Patti LaBelle's manager. According to the Huffington Post, LaBelle turned down Edwards' proposals 3 times before she proposed to him. In 1969, the pair were married, and 4 years later, LaBelle gave birth to their son. According to AARP, they also adopted the 2 children of her late sister, Jacqueline, and the 2 children of their neighbor. However, the pair's romance did not last forever. After more than 3 decades of marriage, the pair announced they were separating in 2000 and officially divorced 3 years later. She explained the decision to Country Living, saying, I never hated him. He never hated me. We just couldn't live together. We never fought, thank God, in 32 years. We got along even when we didn't get along.
But Armstead had never done anything awful to me, right?
Yeah.
I just couldn't get along with anybody for 32 straight years.
Edwards and LaBelle both remain close as they care for their large family. LaBelle still refers to her ex-husband as one of her best friends. Trouble has seemed to follow LaBelle into the turn of the 21st century, as multiple lawsuits have been filed against the singer or her associates in recent years. In 2010, CNN reported that LaBelle paid a $100,000 settlement for a 2008 incident in which she allegedly verbally and physically assaulted a mother and her 18-month-old child. The complainant accused the singer of yelling and throwing water during the alleged altercation in a Manhattan lobby, though LaBelle and her team denied the accusation. In 2011, ABC News reported that LaBelle was sued when her security guards concussed a West Point cadet after he walked close to their limousine. The Seattle Times reported that she was eventually dropped from the suit, and in 2014, a jury sided in favor of LaBelle's security guards. While Patti LaBelle has found success in her career, she's had to make this journey, for the most part, without her family being able to see her continued success. All 3 of LaBelle's sisters tragically died of cancer before hitting 50 years old. The death of her youngest sister, Jacqueline, hit LaBelle the hardest because of an unfulfilled request she had made. In an interview on Oprah's Master Class, LaBelle said she talked to her youngest sister the day before she passed. While in the hospital, Jacqueline asked Patti to make her an egg sandwich, which LaBelle said she would do the next day. However, when she called to say she was bringing the sandwich, she was told her sister had passed.
And I still hold it
because it was such a minor thing for me just to make a sandwich because she loved the way I cooked.
During the years she lost her sisters, Patti LaBelle's parents also passed away, her father of Alzheimer's and her mother of diabetes. Her mother's death was especially poignant as LaBelle herself would become diabetic. According to diabetes.co.uk, LaBelle passed out during a 1995 performance in New York.
This show was in the round, and the stage was moving around, and so I passed out, but I thought it was because I was dizzy.
Upon waking up, her doctor told her she had type 2 diabetes. By her own admission, LaBelle was angry upon learning about the diagnosis. According to Black Doctor, diabetes runs in her family, taking not only her mother, but also her aunt and grandmother. LaBelle adopted a regular exercise routine with her personal trainer, wrote cookbooks, and created a series of sauces called Patti's Good Life. Similar to her work for HIV/AIDS awareness, she became a spokesperson for diabetes awareness. LaBelle is a member of the American Diabetes Association's Celebrity Cabinet and a spokesperson for Glucerna's Diabetes Freedom Campaign. When asked by ABC News about her lifestyle following the diagnosis, the entrepreneur admitted that giving up certain foods was difficult, but seeing firsthand what the disease does was enough motivation, saying, "My mother had amputations and my aunt, she became blind. It was easy because I wanted to live."